Hey there guys, what's going on? Welcome to a final video for this particular week. An altogether unexpected final video for this week. Of course, if you haven't checked out the new crop of stuff that I put out this week, you should absolutely first go back and see all that stuff. Got a bunch of great things like an album review for Strand of Oaks and their upcoming record, Heal. Some stuff to do with new singles, new music singles, some great stuff that's out and about, out in the air there. Vinyl unboxing for the Dave Matthews Band and Remember Two Things. A lot of really cool stuff, basically. But today is sort of a special instance, one of those ones where something drops in your lap, something musical or vinyl unboxing related, as you'll see from the title up above there. And you just have to catch it, you have to cradle it under your arm like you're a football running back, and you have to get into your recording studio of sorts, if you want to call this a recording studio, and make a video as quickly and as mistake-free as you can, which the second part is in no ways guaranteed. For today, this especially warranted this kind of quick running in here attention, because this vinyl unboxing involves one of my favorite singer-songwriters of all time, within the past 4, 5, 6 years since I became a big music fan. So he was one of the first ones, in fact. And usually when I'm talking about him, as I haven't gotten to do in the last couple of years, but when I got to talk about him on my old channel, it was usually to refer to a project of his to do with his band of 20 years, and the couple of nice records they've released in that span of time. I think I've only done one on my channel, but I was familiar with a couple as I got to be acclimated and become a fan and all that. This is his first record. This is not his first record that I'm going to be talking about, just an excerpt. But this is an excerpt from his new solo record, which is due out coming in September and will be hopefully continually featured here as we get up to that point of release in mid-September, I think, for Sukierae, which I think I'm slowly becoming convinced of the fact that it is all the way off in September, so it'll give journalists, video makers, and fans alike time to learn to pronounce it. To get out of this intro mode that I'm clearly in right now, as I'm not saying the name of the person, but you can clearly see who the name of the person is, we're going to talk about Jeff Tweedy of Wilco, who is not, like I said, with Wilco for this one. This is his solo project, Tweedy, with his son Spencer and some other cohorts, but it's basically a duo project. And I cannot remember how many songs are on this track list for this upcoming record. I swear that I saw it somewhere, but I was not able to track it down before getting into making this video. I was going through online articles and such, looking up track lists, and I couldn't find it. But needless to say, this is for the Tweedy project. It is the first... I'm taking forever today to intro to this stuff, my apologies. This is the first physical piece of music media to do with this, how fitting it would be in the great format of vinyl, to come out so far. And when I knew that this little bundle of sorts was going to be available, along with a couple of tour posters, and I think it's still available on the site, I immediately had to, again, get out there, catch it, cradle it in my arms, and run. And it got here today, so since I had a little bit of free time before I get too busy into the rest of the day and take off for live music stuff, some things tonight, which will be coming up in written format, but let's talk about this. I wanted to sit down, do an unboxing real quick of this special 10-inch record, which is in captured smoke. Sounds like we're picking out like tile or you know, wall coloring or something for the house. You know, captured smoke of the songs Diamond Light Part 1 and the exclusive to this 10-inch Diamond Light Part 2. To give you my early impressions of this, which is just basically a couple of listens so far, because I just got this earlier today. Just came in the mail earlier today. It's definitely not like the single I'll Sing It, which feels more in the methodology, more in the wheelhouse of what Jeff has been doing with Wilco over the past several years or so, since he got out of the Ghost is Born era, all of that, and kind of transitioned to Sky Blue Sky and the Whole Love and you know, things like that. That kind of felt more in line with it, with a little bit of a different feel, considering, you know, it's a switch of band members and some styling. But this is definitely more down the rabbit hole of sorts into the sound I'm guessing that this record is going to take. And to this point, and you're going to see this in a bonus song that I'm going to attach to this video, if, you know, copyright and such allows it. Diamond Light Part 1 and Part 2, because it's just basically one huge song, feels, on one side it feels sort of like a throwback to Jeff's work with Jim O'Rourke and Glenn Cochi with Loose Fur and stuff like Laminated Cat, stuff that went a little bit, you know, out there, experimented a little Ghost is Born-ish, but I would lean more towards Loose Fur, some of the less like dominant tracks of Loose Fur. The songs kind of meander and space out a little bit. It's interesting, I think, to see him going back in that direction, where before with Wilco it kind of seemed like there was this main kind of streamed element of, you know, maybe doing a 3, 4, 5 minute song, okay, kind of experimenting it up a little bit, doing some Nels, some weird Nels stuff, 6 minutes, something like that. This kind of feels more like his throwback to kind of being introspective with the Loose Fur material, but I don't feel it's the same as that. I don't feel it's quite as sharp as that, perhaps. But I do find it interesting that he's kind of letting it play a little bit, and it's not just strictly acoustic guitars or strictly, you know, a band setup. It kind of has room to breathe and experiment around a little bit. But to break this out to show you up close, comes in just your basic clear sleeve, no single fold, gatefold, any of the above. Pretty basic there. This is the first side, which we'll try to get up nice and close there for you. Pretty nice quality, has a good sound to it. I'm not sure, this record actually is a rare 10-inch in that it has locked grooves on both sides, but I'm a little unsure of how I feel about the quality of the inner part of the record as you get close there and get into the locked grooves. It kind of, the etching there is very, I don't know, it's a little raw, so you hear the locked grooves, but it's kind of overwhelmed by the record going into that last groove, and it's a little bit loud, and it kind of interferes with it. But here is the other side, which I think is a little bit cooler, even with the diamond logo there, which is pretty neat. I wouldn't, unless you're interested in the next part and you're a completionist, or you're very interested to hear what this record and these songs are going to sound like, which I'm going to help you in part with in the other video, I wouldn't be overly eager to rush out and get this for the exclusive part of Diamond Light Part 2. Like I said, I'm enjoying that Jeff is taking the opportunity to kind of meander and wander out a little bit in his sounds and such. But Diamond Light Part 2 just kind of is very spacey in the background, and it doesn't really do much. It's not really as interesting as some of, you know, his prior work in like just kind of sound experimenting, like Poor Places or Reservations, or you know, Less Than You Think from A Ghost is Born, stuff like that. It just kind of stays in one place and kind of goes through for 5 minutes or so. It was actually going to be the track I was going to put up, but it just doesn't do anything. It doesn't really do much. So I wouldn't say that this is overly worth rushing out for the price that it is online. Not that it's incredibly expensive, but, you know, it costs a little bit. Just because, I mean, it's cool to own, and it's nice to hear the first track which I think is, it definitely contains potential, but it's not right, you know, it's not really like doing it for me right off, and I wouldn't suggest it unless you were really a diehard and you really like completionist kind of stuff. And then we seal it off, seal things up here with in this video with a t-shirt for Diamond Light, which looks like this up close. And I think it's just pretty cool because, I mean, you get right down to it, no matter how this record ends up turning out for Jeff or what is contained within it. I think it's interesting that he's finally going down a solo path. While this isn't necessarily, like, I don't know, maybe exactly what I would have imagined, and it is sort of just a different band side project per se, I think he's got a voice and a style that can really play well in all fields, so to speak. And I hope that as more of this record becomes available and we get to hear more of it, I hope that it will maybe continue to surprise a little bit more, maybe show a little bit more teeth than just what's on there with Diamond Light, and you know, maybe go back to, you know, kind of playing around with things and really reaching out and kind of, you know, not playing it so terrestrial and so not so much predictably, but just like you know, this kind of in a box. You know, break out of the box a little bit. And I think, if nothing else, while I'm not overly impressed with this so far, I think that it's worth it just to know that he's kind of in that frame of mind again. That's it for this little little vinyl unboxing here for the Jeff Tweedy solo 10-inch Diamond Light Captured Smoke record, which is the precursor and the forerunner to Sukierae, which comes out in September of this year. Go and check out the other video that I'm going to put up with this, and keep an eye out for more to do with this Tweedy project, which I will definitely attempt to report on with any updates I have coming up in the future. And of course, keep it right here for more excellent videos, more than likely on the weekday, soon to come. Stay tuned.